Hey, on this channel we've built many gamified Notion templates, but all of them were designed for one user. Today I will teach you how to build a multiplayer productivity game where you and your friends can compete, all inside Notion. So let's dive in. But before that, let me tell you where this idea comes from. So a few months ago I worked on a client's project. He bought our second brain system and he wanted a gamified dashboard where he can invite his wife and his kids, play by completing quests, habits, and getting rewarded. So today I will show you how to build the same concept. So currently we are inside the template we are going to build. This is the online game mode. Let's switch to the dark mode maybe. Or maybe let's keep it on the white mode for now so I can see it's much better. So this video will be a little bit long, so maybe 2 hours, I'm not sure. So if you want to skip this entire chaos, because there's a lot of formulas, databases here, you can download the template. It's in the description below. It's totally free. Also, it's included video tutorial, so you can learn how to create more players. But I really encourage you to watch the video and try to build the template with me, so your Notion skills can also get better. So let's dive in. So as you can see here, here's what we are going to build. We have players, we have quests. So as you can see here, here's what we are going to build. We have players, quests, habits war, where there's good and bad habits. Then we have reflection, objectives and mission, which is goals and projects, notes, reward, challenges, power rings, mission tracker, and config and monthly hero. Here's our new online game mode. And first of all, we will start with the first page or database, which is players. So we have players, and let's add an icon, maybe profile, something like this. And let's go and add full width. So let's build our database. So let's create our table view, and we are going to call it players OGM1 because I already have a players OGM. Let's go now and create, let me hide the title. And now we are going to create our players templates. So new player, and the color, we will make it new player, and let's add an icon, profile. First of all, we will create what we call color theme. So select property, color, maybe color theme. And let me tell you that every database in this template will be related to our players. And to differentiate between players, what we are going to do, each one of them will have his own color theme. And formulas in those databases, for example, if you complete a quest, it will show you like you earned the points, or the player name, you earned this point, and this message will be within the color theme of the player. So if the color theme of the player is purple, this message will be purple. But for other players, will be in a different colors. So we will create color theme, and we will add all the colors we can like add in Notion style formula. So we have red, blue, green, gray, yellow, brown, sorry, I messed up with brown. So brown, orange, purple, and finally pink. Then we can now make this one red, this one blue, and this one green, this one gray, yellow, brown, orange, purple, and finally pink. So let me remove this one. The next property we will add is the person property. Now let me tell you why we're going to add it. Now why we did create the person property. So now in order to hide each player page like quests, habits, their personal one from other players, we need to only invite them to those pages, but we need also the business plan because Notion new permission require the business plan. So we can use filters, like if you are on the free version, we can use filters, but always the other players can adjust those filters and can see other players' personal data. So if you are okay with that, like no one will cheat and no one will do that, it's okay. You can not use the business plan. But if you are going to use the business plan, you have to add the person property. So the next properties, most of them will be formulas, but most of them will be empties because we have to create other databases in order to fill those one. Okay, so our first formula will be level formula. So this one will calculate the level of the player. Then we need another formula which will be only level, and this one will be aesthetic. Then we need another formula which will be XP, and another one will be coins. Then we need another formula that will show those in an aesthetic way. So let's call it points. Discipline tracker. This one will calculate the player discipline based on doing good habits and avoiding bad habits. So this one discipline, but we also need another formula, discipline tracker. So this one will be aesthetic, and this one will be just a number because we can create this beautiful chart. So as you can see here, so you can see Mike discipline, it's 78%, Alex 75, and Lucy 63. Then we will need rings formula. I will tell you later on why we need this formula. Then another formula. So this one will show us the rings we earned. So this one will be the ring, which is the currently ring we have. You will understand more later. Then we need another formula, hero of the month. That's it. Now we need a number property called base level. Okay. So yeah, for now, we're going to leave all of those empty. So yeah, we will go in just to style this view here. We'll make it a gallery view. Also, I forget, let me make this one as default. And we need also to create cover. So file and media. So player cover. Now let's move to the gallery view. And for now, we just show the cover and fit it. That's all of it. And maybe we can create a player just to test. So let me name it Usama, for example. Okay, so we will come back to the players page later on. Now let's move to the next page. So this one will be point settings. So we have point settings, and or maybe we will name it configuration. Let me add gear icon here. And let me create points setting here. I will leave a space in the top because we will create some buttons later. Let me change the color of this one. So now let's create a new table view. I will name it points setting OGM1. Okay, and let's create a new template. So points setting, let me add an icon. So the point settings, this is where you set how much XP and coins each activity is worth. Change the value once and everything in the template will be updated automatically. So this one will be related to quests, habits, but each page will have different points. So let's create, first of all, XP. So this is the XP number. Then we create coins. And to make it look really beautiful and aesthetic, we will add two formula. We will call them XP text and XP and coins text. So coins text. The formula is pretty much so easy, just a style. So style XP, maybe dots here. Okay, we'll put it inside an inline block, and then we'll make the color purple. Let me just duplicate this one, and instead of XP I will add coins here, and it will be yellow. That's it. So for now we don't have other pages to relate them to the point settings, so let's just style this one first. So let me show the coins, the XP text, then XP coins text XP. So let me set this one as default. So for example, if we create, let's name this one quests, and then we can relate them later to quests. So 10 XP and 15 coins. So by the way, everything here is calculated well. So 10 XP and 15 coins will work well. Then we will add like the projects or maybe reflection, which is journaling. 5 XP and 10 coins. Then we can add projects, 100 XP, maybe 215 coins. Then let's add goals and let's make it, this one should be more than the others. So if you finish a goal, you get 300 XP and maybe 500 coins. Then we have another database, which is notes. So let's make this one 5 only and 10 here. And for now, that's it. Okay. So once we create the other pages, we can relate them to each one of them to the point setting. So our first database will be quests. So quests. Let me add an icon sword, for example. And let's add a full width and let's add our table view. So let's name this one quests OGM1. Of course, for you, you can name it just quests. It depends on how many templates you have on your workspace. I have so many. So if I just add quests, I already have too many quests databases. So let me hide the title and let's create new template. Quest. And by the way, in this video, to avoid making it so much long, we are going to create only two players, sorry. So will be Osama and, for example, Mike. Okay, so Osama will be in the purple theme. Mike, we will choose blue, for example, or gray, for example. Okay, so let's create our quest database. So this one will be related to Mike. Now, why I'm creating a default template for each player, so easily you can, whenever you want to add a quest or habits or whatever, it's easy related to that player. So yeah, it takes time to create it once, but then it will be easy to create any entry. Let me edit this one. First of all, we will create the due, of course. So we need a due for the task and status. So status, and let's make this one purple. Then we will create a relation to the player. Okay, so here's our player. Let's add to a relation quests. Okay, add a relation. And we already create Osama, so this one will be the default. So this one will be the default one. Then we also are going to create the person property. So the person property will be in every database, okay? So, and yeah, again, if you are going to use the business plan, it's great. So yeah, every player will only see his personal data. If not, it's okay to use the free version, just avoid cheating, okay? So person property. So now I'm going to invite myself with another account, open our database here. Then I'm going to click on share and I'm going to add the email I want. So here's the first guest. I'm going to add can edits only. Then I will invite him. I will skip adding it as a member for now. So skip for now. Then I will add a new rule. So the person property, so anyone who is invited can only edit. Some databases like players, he will not be able to edit, just viewing. Okay, so just to avoid cheating, and also someone can mess up with formulas if he don't understand how to use Notion. So let's create our first rule. Let's go also back to the player and also do the same thing here. So let me share the email. I'm going to only can view this time. Okay. And it can only view. So that's it. And I can also now add my player. So this is Osama. Okay. Now let's go back to Quest database and let's finish creating it. Let me set this one as default for this view. So this view here will be only for Osama. Okay. And I can add an icon here. And let's edit the template. And I will add Osama by default. So any quest will be related to Osama. Now, the next properties we will add is another select property. So this one will be energy. Okay. So let's add like power, for example, and energy will be low or medium or high. So each task will require maybe high energy, medium, or low energy. And we will use that to increase the XP and coins earned. Okay, so now let's add another property, which is relation to our point settings. So points settings, it should be this one. Okay, yeah, it should be this one. Two-way relation, and we add quests, add a relation, and we will select our quest. Okay, now let's create the XP. So there's two ways we can do that. We can just add a roll up. So roll up, and you can name it XP and add from the point settings the XP and sum, and it will show us the XP. But because this one will also use a condition based on our energy, so if there's a high energy, we will add like 20 XP instead of 10. We will switch it to a formula. Okay, so we will make this one instead a formula. Okay, and it's a super easy formula. By the way, I will not go and explain every formula we will create in this template, just the important one and the complex one. So the formula is quite simple. We will create a let. We'll create two variables. The first one will be the base XP. So base XP, and it returns our point settings dot first XP. So now we will get the XP, the base XP. Then we have energy. Okay, so this one will return our energy property or select property. Then we will create another variable. Let's call it bonus, and we will add a condition. So if the energy, okay, equal high, we will add 10 extra XP. If the energy is medium, we will add only 5. Otherwise, if it's low or empty, we will return nothing. Okay, and then what we're going to do is sum our base XP with the bonus. And as you can see, here's our formula. And we will do the same for coins. Okay, and instead coins, we will add more. So let's add 15, and here we can add 10. And we can name it coins here, and also coins here. Now, if we make the energy high, as you can see here, it's 20 XP and 25 coins. If we make it medium, it's 15 and 20. Let me fix the colors here. So let's make this one gray. Medium will be blue, and high will be purple. Okay. So then we need another formula. So this one will show us the points in an aesthetic way. So I'm just going to name it points. So I already have the formula. Let me break down this formula for you. It's actually so simple. So first of all, we create variables. We just get some data. So first of all, we get the player name because we will need it in the message. As you can see here, Osama, then finish to earn. Okay. So then we get the XP, which is this XP and coins here property. And we get due and the status. Why the due? Because if the task in the past and you missed it, we should show the message in a red way. Then we have the variable of theme color. This one just called the theme color from the player. Okay, so then we have message color, which is a bunch of conditions. So if the task date, which is variable, so if the task date, which is the due, is in the past, as you can see here, and the status is also not done, like to do or doing, the message should be in red. Now, if the task is due to today, as you can see, but also not done, it will show us the message in gray, as you can see here. Now, this one is gray, Osama finished to earn. If the status is done, whether in the past, in the future, whatever, it will turn us the color, theme color. Here, we will return us the red color, here gray, but here we will return the theme color. So now, as you can see, if we switch the status from not started to done, the color will change to purple and also the message. So let me continue explaining this formula. Then we have XP styled, also another variable. This one will style our XP and coins. That's it. We'll give it a purple and yellow color also inside this inline box here, as you can see, or outline. And finally, we have the message variable. So another if condition. If the status is done, then the style will include name. As you can see, here's the name. Then you plus you earn it, as you can see here, and the message color, and then the message color, and of course it will be in purple. Why? Because the status is done, and when the status is done, it returns the theme color. Then just make it bold, then plus XP styled, which is this one, and the coin styled. Now, task date, so if it's in the past and the status is not done, so yeah, start name you missed, message color, of course, it will be red because it's matched this condition, this first one. So then XP styled and coin styled. Then if it's true, it will show you the message finished to earn. That means it's today task and it will be gray. That's it. It's actually so simple formula. It just looks that hard, but it's actually simple. Again, if you're not familiar with Notion formulas, the template in the description, you can duplicate the formula and paste it. But try to understand this, okay? So try to understand this formula. Anyway, let's move on to next properties. So just to make this more fun, I will add some other extra properties. First of all, we'll add something called completion date and another formula called duration. So we will add a task duration, how much it took you to finish this task. Again, I'm just going to paste the formula. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time. It's a quite complicated formula, so I'm not going through all of this, but you can put it on AI and he will explain it to you. Okay, look, the duration, it's not our objective. Our objective is the other gamified properties. Okay, so now let's move on to another property. We will create a button called finish it or finish task. Let's just keep it finished. Then we will edit our automation. So the only thing this button will do is we'll switch the status to done. And also the completion date will add time triggered. So if let's say this is a new quest, go to gym, for example, and the time, let's add, I don't know, let's add 2 p.m. And once I click on finish, as you can see here, it will add the completion date. So we finish this one at 3 p.m. and 34. So Usama, you complete this task in 1 hour and 34 minutes. So that's really cool. And yeah, that's all what we have in the quest database here. Also, you can add an automation here if you want called completion date. So without the button, just when the status is switched to done, you can add then the completion date. So let me show you. So if let's switch this one to not started, let's clear the completion dates. Once we switch to done, and if we wait a few seconds, the completion date should be filled and it will show you the duration. So that's automatically. Now, what we can do here is add a filter in our database. So we are going to filter with the player, so Osama, and also the person to show Osama also as well, okay? Then if you have, just like I said, many other players, so in our case, we will add Mike, I guess, or Alex. Okay, let's just add Mike. And what we're going to do now is duplicate this one and change the color to blue so we can understand it's Mike. And we still didn't create Mike yet, player. So let's create him. So Mike, by default, with a color blue and the theme also blue. Also, we can invite him. So I guess I have, also we can add a person property. So I guess I have, also we can add a new email here and invite him. So I have another Notion account. In the player, we are going to only add can view, invite, okay. And in the quests, let's go to the quests here. Again, share. And we should also add this new one. Can edit here, invite. Okay, skip for now. And by default, this one will be set for Mike, and email or the account will be this one. Okay, so this is Mike. Now, if we created, but first let's edit the filter here for mic. So this view for mic. Okay. And let's create a new page. And if you remember, my color theme is blue. So now if we make this task done, it will show us the message in blue. Also for the completion date. So if we finish it here, as you can see, it's blue. So yeah, we finished the quests database here. So let's move on now to the next database. Of course, you can make the page looks much more beautiful. So you can go to customize layout. You can go here and pin the due, pin the status, and pin the points. The properties that you don't need to see, you can add them to layout. For example, the point settings, the XP formula, the coins formula. Yeah, those one you can add them to the panel. Okay. And you can make this number smaller. Apply to all pages. And whenever you want to edit them, you can just click on view details and now you can see them. That's look much cleaner. Now, next database. So the next database will be the habits war. I really like the habits war. So here we will create our good and bad habits. So here let's add an icon, something like a war, something like a castle, for example. And let's add a full width. Our first database will be the good habits. So what I'm going to name it GHOGM1. It's like a secret code or something like that. Let's add the title. Let's name this one Osama. So this view will be for Osama. We can add an icon, of course. Then let's add new templates. So new habits, good habits, of course. We will add icon, castle, blue, and our properties, first of all, will be date. So due or date, okay? And by default should be today. Then we have XP. So this one will be number, not a rollup or a formula. And I will tell you why. So let's add first coins. So why we didn't add a relation to the point settings? And we also didn't add a page in the point settings for the habits, good and bad. Because sometimes the good habits will require more and should reward you more XP and coins than other habits. For example, if cold shower is really hard for you to do, and it's really hard to do, you might earn, you will set it, for example, for 15 XP and 16 coins, for example. But morning sunlight, for example, maybe just 10 XP and 20 coins. So keeping it, every habit different than the other is much better. Okay, so we can add XP and coins. Let's call this one cold shower. Okay, it's called shower. Let's add a cover. So file and media. So here's the file and media cover. And let's set XP here at 30. And for the coins, 45. Okay. And then we will add our formula of static points. So of course, points. Then we will add relation to our player. Okay. So here's the player. Let's add two-way relation. And let's just name it GH. That's mean good habits. Okay. I hope it doesn't mean something else. But I think it's just habits. So this one for Sama. Let me change this one. So it should be purple instead. And also we can add the person property, of course. And I'm going to add Sama. Now what I will add is a checkbox for complete. So complete, okay. Then I will add another formula. This one is a motivational message, okay. So I'm just going to add it like that. And finally, complete button, so complete, okay. So, and let's edit automation. And the only thing it will does is just check in the box complete. Okay, so now let's add our two formulas of points. So let's add the points formula. First of all, we'll add a let's. First variable is if the complete checkbox is done. So, or if our habit is done. So that means is done. That means complete equal true. Then next variable will be XP. So just going to write XP like that, and it Okay. Next one will be coins. And I'm just going to add coins here. And the next one will be the theme color. So theme color will be player. I always forget the comma. So player dot first dot theme color. Next variable will be okay, the reward. So which is the XP and points, or we can call it the points, doesn't matter. So reward. So we have style format XP. So the variable, we put it inside a C. Okay. Also, let's make it purple. Plus, let's add space here. Style, format, coins, the variable, C, yellow color. Maybe here we can add a plus sign. Then we will add another variable. We will call it label, which is, if we didn't collect yet the points, it will show us collect points. If we collected, it will show you points earned. Okay, so if is done, and is done is already if complete is true. Okay, so style will be collected in the theme color. So the color will be theme color. Okay, maybe also B. Otherwise, if not completed, the style will be points. Let's make it gray or white, maybe white. B. I forget to add white inside the comma. So, and then let's add label plus reward. So as you can see here, we have our points. I just forget to add XP and coins here, so let me add them. So I will add a plus sign here, XP, and same here, coins. Yeah, maybe add a space here, space here. That's it. Now moving on to our motivational message. So I'm just going to paste the formula here. So another pretty much easy formula with variables and some if conditions. So here we have the name, property, if it's done, the habit date, and theme color. So here we have just a date comparison. So we have a variable if it's today, so it's today. So it just simple formats date. We have checking the habit date if it's to equal today, or if it's in the past, as you can see. And then we build our message. So the message has some conditions. So first of all, if the habit is done, whether it's in the past or in the present, we have style, we add the name, you collected the points with the theme color. So yeah, then we have if it's today but not done, so style it will show us the name, do it to win today. If it's in the past, we have the style name, you missed this habit. And here we have format date, so it's just between today and the habit date. So if it's overdue, for example, by 3 days, it will show us it's overdue by 3 days. And finally, if it's upcoming, in our example here, it will show it's an upcoming habit. So if we went here, so let's set this one as default for Osama. So only view for Osama. And we complete this one. So as you can see, Osama, you collect the points, and that's it. So here, let's add our filter again. So the player, Osama, and let's add another advanced filter. Let's add the person, and I'm going to add this one here. Then I'm going to duplicate this one, add mic, and just going to duplicate this habit, change the color, and instead of Osama, I will add mic. Also change the person to this one. Okay, so now if it's complete, as you can see, it's blue. And I will set it as default for this one here. Change the filter, and I will add mic, and also change the person property. Okay, so here we have our good habits. So let's add gh good habits. And what we're going to do now is duplicate this database and add the bad habits. That's it. So the difference between good habits and bad habits is good habits will give you more points, but bad habits will subtract points from your player. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate this one. Duplicate with, yeah, let's duplicate it with content. Okay, let's duplicate it with the content. And let's, so here is it. And let's name this database to bad habits. So let's open, let's show data source title. Let me edit this one to bh and hide title. Instead here of cold shower, let's add like fast food, for example. And what I'm going to do here now is two things. First of all, we should relate it again to our character. So two-way relation is off now. So I'm going to add bh. Okay. And now we will change points. So instead of earning points, so right now we are saving those points. So this one here should be saved. Okay. So saved. Okay. But if we did it, it should be slipped, but it's not theme color. It should be red instead. So if you did the bad habits, you slipped, you lose those points. Okay. And yeah, pretty much that's all. So, or we can add damage here instead. So we can add damage will be this, and here lost. Okay. Also, what we're going to do is instead of complete, this one should be slipped, and this one also. So slipped. Okay. And maybe we can add an icon here. I didn't thought about it. So let's add like a broken heart, something like that. Okay, now let's go to our motivational message, and I'm just going to paste a similar formula to our good habits one. So yeah, same conditions. If it's in the past and you did it, you slipped. If you did it today, you slipped today. If you avoid it in the past and you didn't slip, it will show you avoid it. And if it's due to today, so it's today, and you're still avoiding the habit, don't slip to win, and it shows you this, biceps curl here. And if it's in the future, it's upcoming. So that's all of it. Okay, let's just change this one here to fast food, and same for this one here. Now, if you want to add more habits, it's actually quite easy. First of all, make sure to repeat them every single day, or any day of the week you want. For example, let's say cold shower, you want it Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Or if you want it on every single day of the week, you can make it. So let's stop this one repeating. You can make it every single day. Okay. And you can do the same for every single habit. So you can create another habit for Osama, for example, the player, and add like reading. Okay. Change the XP, change the coins, and also make it repeatable every single day. Same thing can do for bad habits and other players. Let me just turn those now off, okay, because I don't want to see them repeat every single day. And here, yeah, we can edit this one, fast food also. So now we have our good and bad habits. Let's just make sure that if we clicked on our player, okay, so we can see our relations are building right now. So we have bad habits, good habits, and quiz. So that's all for now. We still need other databases to start working with the player formulas. So now let's move on to the next database, and it will be, I guess, let's add reflections. It's because it's pretty much easy to add. So reflection, just a gamified name for journaling, and let's make this full width. Add a table view. Let me name this one reflections OGM 1. Let me hide the title, and let's create a new template. So new reflection, or maybe today, okay, instead. And let's add purple. So this one for Mike. or Usama, sorry, relation to the player, of course. So player reflection, and let's add Usama by default. But I think we also forget. Okay, sorry, for the habits war, we didn't share this database. So let's share it with our both users. So can edit, invite, and we need to add a new rule. So the rule is person can edit. So yeah, that's it. We should do same for bad habits. So share, and let me add can edit and invite. Skip for now, please. Person and create the rule. Okay. Because later on, what we are going to do is creating dashboard for each player. So each player will have his own dashboard. So when we do this rule, he can see in his dashboard his quests, his habits, but he can't go to the main page or the main database and access other players' entries, okay, or pages. So let's go back to our reflection page. Set this one as default here. Okay, so player. Let's also add person property again. Let's now add our first checkbox. So this one will be log. So what we're going to do is, so here we will add write your journal. So once the player finishes writing his journal, once he logs, he's going to earn the points. Okay, so let's add relation now to the point settings. So point setting. Where is it? Add reflection. And I'm going to add a reflection here. And here, now we are going to just add a simple rule up. We don't need, we don't need to add a formula. We can just fill this one with the XP. Let's add sum, because if we didn't add sum, he will not recognize it as a number. So let's duplicate this one, coins, and do the same thing. So here's coins and sum. Okay, now we need our points formula. So points, or before that, we forget to add date. So by default, it will be today. And now I'm just going to actually paste the formula because we already create same formula again. So as you can see here, we have let, we are going to collect our data here. So has logged is a variable, which is referring to log if it's true. XP coins and theme color as always. Then we have style the reward, default style here. So XP and coins. Then we have based on the status, if it's logged, so the label. So if it's has logged, which means log is true, then it will return as style logged theme color. That's it. If it's not, it will show us just like right now, the points text here and our points here. So label plus report token. So if we logged, now as you can see, it's logged. Now what we can add is a button that will do the log for us. So log, and we can add this property of log, make it checked, and that's it. Of course, you can add more properties here, like the mood. You can add something grateful for the image. For example, you can upload one of your image of this day and upload it here. Right now, I'm just showing you the concept of gamifying, but the ideas and how far you can get creative is unlimited, of course. We can now style this stuff here. Of course, let's add the person, Sama by default, and let's add a beautiful style here. So let's add the date, the points, and the log. That's it. And pretty much we can hide all the other features. Let's move them to the panel, but now we moved also the property group. We don't want to do that. So let me do it quickly. And those are the last one. So let's move them to the panel. As you can see, it's now much cleaner. Let's apply it to all pages. And now what we can do is add our filter here, player, Sama, and the person property, also Sama. So person, okay. And let's set this one as defaults for this table view here. So let's name it Sama. Let's add an icon. Let me duplicate this one, add mic. Here we will create another entry here. So yeah, okay, delete this one by accident. So let's change the color here to blue. Oh, sorry, this one should be blue. And instead of my Osama, let's add mic. Let's move this one and add this account. Okay, let's set this one by default. And let me change the filter here. That's it. Let me open now this and share it with my two players and skip for now. Add the rule, person property can edit. So that's it. So now let's move on to the next database. And let's start with objectives and projects. Okay, so objectives and projects. Okay, my bad. Projects or missions. Let's call it missions, just like in the original template. So here we can add this bow and arrow logo. Let's add full width and let's add our table here. So the first one will be objectives, OGM1, and let's hide the title. So just one quick side note, there's unlimited database and pages you can create. You can add resources, books, content, and also gamify them in the same way. It's actually super easy. Also, one note is try to use AI, try to add other formulas, automations, just be creative and play with the templates. Okay, you can actually turn this into beautiful game. So right now I'm currently working on the game mode V3, and I just spent like 3 months working on it for now. It's one of the biggest projects I've ever done, and it's not even finished yet. And whenever I send it to someone to try it, he just said it's like a game, like because okay, it will be a surprise, okay, until you see it. So yeah, there's unlimited things you can do. So let's focus here on our template right now. So new objective, we are going to add start and end date. So objectives is basically goals, okay? So we have start date and end date. So let's add end date. So start date by default would be today. And sorry, this one should be is today, and the end date we will keep it empty. Okay, will add the status also. Let me change the color here to purple. And then let's add our relation, of course, to players. So first player, objectives, and we'll add me. Next relation is to the point settings. So point settings. And let's select object. Okay, goals. We name it goals. Okay, that's okay. Let's add just simple roll ups for the XP and formula for the XP and coins. So points, XP, and sum them. Duplicate. Change this one to coins, and let's sum it also. It's coins. Okay. And now let's add some formulas we will need later. So first formula is year, and you will understand later why I will add it. It's just year of the start date. Okay, that's all. And then we will add some formulas. So the first one will be points. Okay, of course. And second one will be progress. Then we will need another progress formula, which is for the chart, because this one will be aesthetic and this one will be just number. So we can use it in chart if you want to add charts. So let's call it progress dash charts. Okay. And then we will add days left formula. Days left. So it will calculate between now and the end date of the objectives. And yeah, there's pretty much more stuff you can add. Of course, you can add a button that will finish the objective. You can add, also you can add the completion date and the duration of the objective, how long it took you to finish it, just like in the quest. But you can be creative. I will just focus on the simple things here. So let's start first with our points formula. So here's our formula. I'm just going to paste it. Again, it's pretty much simple. As you can see, we have data here, status equals done. So here in the reward, we have our reward token style and label. Again, if it's done, so if the task is done, it will show us collected and then the points. If not, it will show us just points here, or go collect points. And then I'm going to days left. Here, I'm just going to paste this formula, but I'm going to explain it. Again, we have end date, which is the end date. Status, and days left variable, which is between the end date and today, in days. Okay, so it's in days. Then we have our theme color. We build the message if the status is done, style completed. So if status is done, we're not going to show days left. Okay, but if the days left, okay, so the days left, this one here, so this variable here is lower than 0, so that means the deadline is end. So deadline end in red. If there's some days left, what we are going to do is show days left and the days left. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much all of that. Progress and progress charts are based on counted completed missions that we are going to create. Okay. So first of all, let me just make sure here to set this one as default for Sama. So now I think you get the point of how things are working. So change the color here, and if you have more players, you will do the same for the other players. So let me remove this one and add Mike, and we forget to add the person properties, so let's add it right now. So for this one would be Mike, and for this one here would be Osama. Here is it. We can name this one Osama objective. Let's not waste time on icons. And here will be Mike. Okay, we just forget to add the filter. You can actually, there's one note, is you can change and to or. And here we have objectives. So just, and now what we can do is actually just duplicate this one. Okay, because projects is pretty much same thing. We have same properties, but projects will rely on quests to calculate the progress. Okay, so it's different in this area. So missions, okay, and there's some other stuff we need to edit. Okay, so first of all, this is mission. Okay, this one should be, of course, project, and we have XP year. So here we don't have anything that's related to goal. Okay, that's okay. Days left, progress chart. And now what we can do is add another relation in the mission, and we will go back to objectives to add a relation to missions. So quests, here is it, two-way relation. And now missions, we forget to change the database name here, so let's change it to missions. Okay, title, and let me just edit this one to mission. Okay, that's it. So now what we are going to do, let's add our progress and the progress charts. For missions, then we will go back to objectives. It's actually the same thing. Okay, so our progress chart is quite simple. Let's add our variable here. Okay, so first variable will be all quests. We will call it all quests, and the second one will be completed quests. Okay, so this one will be quest dot filter. So we are going to filter to only show the one that are done. Status is done. Okay, then we will have another variable. So this one is total. So quests, okay, dot length, then done, or sorry, here not quests, all quests, my bad. and here completed quests dot length. Okay, now what we're going to do is if the if the total is 0, so let's say we don't have any quest, just return back 0. Otherwise, divide done by total. That's it. That's all. Now what we're going to do is also make sure to add Notion percentage default 1. Also, let me make it the decimal places 0, maybe 1. Okay, 1 will be good. Now to the aesthetic progress chart. This one, I'm just going to paste it first and let me explain it. First of all, we have all quests, completed quests, just getting the data, the same stuff here. But then to make this beautiful progress here and as you can see, counting here number. So first of all, in the percentage here, we did add round and multiplied by 100. Now here, if you noticed, we didn't do that. Why? Because we are using Notion default percentage. That's will do the same thing, okay? But here in the aesthetic, we can't do that. So we have to add a round and multiply it by 100. Then we have position. So it's floor, then the percentage divided by 10. That means if, for example, if the percentage is 15%, the circle will move. So those are dashes, just by the way, those are dashes. So the circle will move to the fifth dash here and replace it. Okay, so then we build our progress bar with the circles. So we have before, and this is the dash repeats by position. And then after repeat 10 minus position, then we have the bar, which is before plus so we have the before plus the circle plus after. So before currently, because it's 0%, we don't have anything here. So we have just the circle and after. But once it's going to move, then we have before and after dashes. Okay, theme color, as always, just to style stuff. So the style is pretty much easy. We have the bar, which is, as you can see, this entire one. So inside inline, then the theme color plus our percentage. So here's our percentage. So this one here is this style here, okay? Then plus another space and to add the counting. So format done, which is all done quests, divided by, which is just text output. So by all total quests, okay? So yeah, it's actually easy, just need to focus with it. Okay, so here's the formula, you can see it here. Okay, so yeah, pretty much we finished our project. Of course, just like I said before, you can always customize the layout. You can pin the importance properties to the heading here and then hide the unnecessary properties, but I'm not going to do that to not waste time. But in the original template, everything is styled in a beautiful way, so you can duplicate that template if you want. Now let's go to objectives, and we have this actually the same progress charts and the same formula. Just this time, instead of quests, we are relying on missions that we need to relate to first. So let's add missions to a relation objectives. Sorry, so this one should be, yeah, objectives, the relation, and let's go to our progress charts first. So here's our missions formula, the same thing, just replacing by missions. Let me edit this one and make it percentage and one decimal number, and then the aesthetic one, here is it, it's the same thing. So yeah, that's all. Now let's invite players. So share with our 2 players here, and yeah, we'll give them access to edit, add new rule, and person can edit. So only the objectives that are related to our player he can edit. Do the same thing with objectives. Share, let's add 2 players, can edit, invite, and we are adding person. Now, by the way, I'm doing this method to avoid adding members, because you will pay for members. If you are planning to, pay for business plan, to reduce the cost, you can invite to each database, okay? And yeah, it will take you longer, but you will avoid paying for each member, because in Notion, on each member, you would pay $24, I guess. Now let's move on to our let's say not last database. We still have some other stuff, but actions database, I will say. So we have nodes, and it's pretty much easy. I will keep it easy, okay, and simple. So table view, nodes, we call it OGM1 as always, behind the title, and new template. So new node and color here, of course, relation to our player, two-way relation nodes, add relation. This one will be related to Sama. Second property is person, related to me again. And the third relation related to the point settings. Okay, so point settings, here is it. Nodes, that's it. So let's add node. Now let's add our roll up. So XP. And let me add the XP here. Let's duplicate this one here. And change it to coins. So coins and sum. Now, the way we are going to collect points from nodes, it's not, let's say by, okay, we added a node, I will earn point. No, if you review a node, you will earn points. So let's add a select property called review or review status. Just keep it review, okay? And we'll add reviewed or need review. Okay, change the color. So reviewed, we can add gray, for example. Need review will be red. All right. So let's add now another property, which is the days until review. Days until review. This one should be actually a number property. And then we will add formula of next review. We also forget to add created time. This is so important. So created time. This is important one. Let's add it at the top. Then we will add formula of days left. Days left. Okay. We don't forget our points formula. So points formula. I already have the formula here. Again, it's so simple. If it's reviewed, so is reviewed, which is, as you can see, review is reviewed, then it will show us earned. If not, review to earn. That's it. That's all. Then let me explain to you this review system here. So we will add days until review. For example, let's say from the time I created this node, after 10 days, it will show me that I have to review it. So here we'll show the next review. So just date add, okay, created time and days until review in days. That's all. So the next review will be in February 10. So here's the formula. I'm not going through all of the details here. It's pretty much simple. It's not really important. So we have review date, which is the next review, and we have if it's reviewed, and then days left. Okay, then we have the color theme, and then we build our message. Is reviewed variable style notes reviewed with the theme color. So here we have review overdue, okay, and days left, and if it's in the future, so our last condition, review in, okay. So here, as you can see, review in 10 days. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much. Let me just remove this one, so it's not by default. Let me set this one as default for Sama, duplicate. Now let's add mic. I hope you're not hearing the wind noise because it's been 3 weeks of winter storms, and yeah. So here point six, let me just keep it notes, but this one here should be this one. So would be here, the view would be Usama. We can filter it with player. And let's go and add advanced person, property, Sama. I guess now you get the point of this, of how things are going. Okay. Now duplicate view. Now let's duplicate the view, add mic. Let's now invite both players, person, property, create the rule. So now what we are going to add is the reward page. Rewards. Let's add gift icon. And let's add full width. Go and add it our table. Let's name it rewards OGM1 and hide title. Let's name this one Sama rewards and new template. So new reward icon, of course. And let's start. So first of all is how much this reward will cost us. So the cost will be in coins, of course. So cost, then another number property. So let's start with number properties. Purchase time. So how many times you purchase the reward. So because you can purchase the reward many times as you want, we will have daily and monthly rewards. Relation, of course, to the players, because we need to subtract the coins used to buy rewards from the coins in the players. So rewards, okay, and this one will be related to Sama. Okay, we can add the person per property again, and now let's add a formula called total spent. So total spent is the cost multiplied by purchase time. This is the one we will subtract from the player coins. Okay. Next is the file and media. So let's add covers for our rewards. So cover. The next property is level require. So level require. So you can't get or buy a reward unless the level required for this reward match your player level. So if the reward is on the 10th level, okay, you should also be in the 10th level in order to unlock the reward. Otherwise, if you have more, of course, you will unlock it. If you have less, you can't buy the reward no matter how time you click on the buy button that we would create right now. So next up, we have another formula called unlocked formula. So let's call it unlocked formula because we will need another unlocked formula, which is static. So this one will check if the player dot first level formula is bigger or equal level require. Okay. If yes, will turn true. If not, false. So in our case, let's say level required is 10. As you can see here, it will not show us anything. So if we went to Usama, and because right now still we didn't add anything, if I add 11 here and went to the reward, so any reward we can add. Let me just stay with this one here. As you can see, it's unlocked. Okay. So now let's start adding the aesthetics formula. So the first formula, or before that even, let's add our buy button. So buy, and this button is quite tricky. So here's what this button will do in the purchase time. So we have a custom formula. If this page unlocked formula is true, so it's unlocked, we can buy this reward. Here's what you do. This page dot purchase time plus 1. Okay. If not, this page dot purchase time plus 0. So now if we click on buy, it will not add purchase time. So if it didn't add purchase time and it's still 0, the total spent will always stay 0. Even if the cost like is 300, for example, for this reward, it will always stay 0. Unless, for example, unlocked formula is true, now you can buy it how many times you want. Okay, so that's how you can Next up, let's add another button, which is undo button. And we also need an automation for this one. This time, if this page dot purchase time is bigger than 0, you can subtract one undo. So what I mean by that, this page dot purchase time minus 1. So if it's bigger than 0, but if it's more than 0, we can't go negative. So this page dot purchase time, that's it. So this page dot purchase time, that's all of it. For example, let's do it again. So 5, let's buy it many times. So as you can see, you can undo it once, twice, and then I can't go further, okay? Because we don't want to go in a negative way. Because if, let's say, purchase time is minus 1, as you can see, it's minus 300. In the player, this minus 300 will be plus 300 in the coins. I hope you get my point, okay? So yeah, here is it. Now let's add the rest formulas. So the reward cost, and I already have the formulas, pretty much easy. We have the cost and we have the total spent. Then how many time purchased? So if cost equal 0, it will return 0. Otherwise, it will divide the total spent by the cost. Okay, so this is the time purchased, how many time I purchased this one. Okay, then style, we have the cost multiplied by time purchased. That's it. We can even go much simpler than that. What we can do is just remove this entire stuff here, and this time purchased, we can actually get the purchase time. Okay, so yeah. So if, for example, if we buy it once, so let me just add level required twice, as you can see. So we bought it 3 times. But I guess I'm going to keep this old formula. Unlock. I'm going to paste this one here. So as you can see, pretty much easy. We have the player level, we have the level require, and we have the theme color. We check unlock status. If unlock is unlocked, which is another variable, which is the player level, which is just this unlocked formula here. And then we have levels left, how many levels left. So the level require minus player level, that will give us how many levels left until I can unlock this reward. Okay, then we build our message. If it's unlocked, style unlocked, that's it with the theme color. Otherwise, it's locked. Okay, and then we have a lock icon here. We have the formats level left, so it will show us level left number first, then the level plus. If level left is this is just a simple condition. If it's only 1, don't add an S to the level here, okay? If yes, it's more than 1, add S. So this is just plural stuff, okay? And then we can, just like I said before, you can style the reward just like the original one. So this is the original one. As you can see, we have reward cost, unlocked, buy, and undo. All of them are pinned here. And if you click on view details, you will see all the details here. That's all of it. And then we can add gallery view to make it looks more aesthetic. We can add the card preview as the cover, fits media, and then we can show the most important properties, which is buy and the reward cost and undo, I guess. Okay, let's add reward cost here and unlock, which will show us the level require. So unlock here, as you can see. So let's set this one as default in this page. And let's duplicate another one. This one for mic. So make it blue. Let me remove this one here and the purchase time. Okay. And let me do the same here. So let's add our filter, player, Sama, advanced filter, and person. Now, of course, we need to invite both players. We add the rule. So yeah, now let's move on to the final parts. We need to create challenges and we need to create rings, daily status, and the monthly hero. So we will create first challenges, and then we will create also rings. Maybe not, maybe we need to go to the player now and add all the formulas we need. So let's get started. Right now, let's move to the challenges page. But before that, let me show you how challenges actually works. So let's move on to the draft template. So here is it. I already I've created one challenge here. As you can see, finish 100 quests. So basically, challenges are small or mini goals like complete 100 quests, do 15 good habits, avoid doing 16 bad habits, and every challenge will reward you with 2 tokens. The first one is ring parts. So the more parts you earn, you can unlock the rings in our power ring page. I will show you later on. And also can give you some extra level. Okay, so for example, if we start this 100 quest challenge, as you can see, and by the way, it's related to one player, so this one related to Mike. So every player, we need to create his own challenges. Okay, we can just duplicate them. As you can see here, the progress is 1 out of 100 because we need to finish 100 quests. So for example, if we went to the quests page here to Mike and we created some bunch of quests, maybe also we can show the status as complete. So all of them should be done. Okay, so now I did create 100 quests. Our challenge is complete. So Mike complete the challenge. We earned 2 ring parts. So if we went to Mike, we can see that in the rings here, as you can see, 2 parts, but he still didn't earn any ring yet because the first ring require 5 parts. So if we made this one just for experience, 5 rings parts, and went back to Mike, as you can see, we have the first ring power. So let's build this challenge page. So let's start with creating our table view. And first of all, let's make this one full width. And let's name it challenges OGM1. And let's create our template. So new challenge. And let's add a relation to the player first, as always. So challenges, this one will be related to Sama. Then we can also add the personal property if you want. And now we will add select, which is the difficulty. So we have easy challenges, medium one, and hard challenges. Then we need the type of the challenge. So is it a quest challenge, a habit challenge, etc. So another select property, we'll add type. So we have quests, we have habits, or sorry, good habits. So we have good and bad. So good habits. We have bad habits, journal. We have reflection, or sorry, notes, objective, missions. And yeah, that's it. Now let's create the number property. So the number property is like how many quests, like 100 quests, how many good habits, 15, how many bad habits, 16, for example. So we are going just to add number here. That means number of actions we need to complete. Then we need the reward. So another number property. Let's call this one ring parts. So we have the ring parts and we have the level also. So challenges will give you an extra boost to level up your character. Next off is the start challenge checkbox. So start challenge. So this one is a checkbox. So here is it. And then we need 2 formula now. The first formula is the progress. So formula. And the second one, or let's call it challenge progress. Because we will need another progress, static progress formula. Then another formula, which is challenge done. So once the challenge checkbox is done or it returns true, that means our player can collect the ring parts and the level. So we need another formula, which is the static progress, and another formula that will show us the tokens or the reward. So formula, reward, and now another button, which is start challenge. Okay, So start challenge only. So the start challenge will only check the start challenge checkbox. That's his entire role. So now let's build our progress formula. So let's call some data here. First of all, TP, which means type of the challenge. And then we need the player. So we'll just call it like that, player. And it's the player dot first. Now with some conditions. So S, the type. So the type call quests. What we're going to do is returning the player dot quests dot filter current status. So we only need the number of completed quests. So status equal done dot length. So this formula will give us all the completed quests related to our player. And now we need to do the same condition for each type. So the next type is if it's good habits. Player dot good filter current dot complete equal true dot length. And same thing now for bad habits. So I will just do the same thing for the other. I found out that I'm not relating missions to the player. So let's go to it is property, and it's not a two-way relation. So my bad. Okay. Missions. Okay, so let's go back. So this is our formula. Now what we're going to do is switch it to percentage. Now just to make the formula give us the correct percentage numbers, because we are going to use Notion native percentage, and if we didn't add these new properties, it will give us some enormous numbers. So what we're going to do is add a new variable called target, and we are just going to call the number property. Okay, so I hope it's the number property, not a number. So number property, and what I'm going to do here is add this if as a variable, so it's counts. And what I'm going to do is, so if target, so our target equal 0, return 0. If not, return minimum count divided by target 1. So, but also we need, as you can see, it's now 100%, but also we need to check if it's empty target, or so if it's empty. So if it's empty, it should be 0%. And now let's move to the challenge progress. So I'm just going to paste the formula. I already have it. So here's the formula. And then the reward formula. Here is it. So this is the reward formula. And now let's test this. So let's create a new challenge, and this will be complete 10 good habits. We already have 10 good habits in our player. or 10 good habits related to Osama. So the number is 10 and type is good habits. And let's just start the challenge. As you can see, automatically it's finished because we already have 10 challenges. So as you can see, it's complete. I just found out that the challenge done here should be progress, not challenge progress. So yeah. And now you can create hundreds and hundreds of challenges, and from easy to hard, and compete with your friends. So we can duplicate this view here, and now we can add mic, and can go here, add mic, and let's add a new challenge for mic. But before that, let's duplicate this one, and let's change the person property as well. So let's delete this, and let me set this one as default for this view. So new mic challenge, it could be like I don't know, avoid doing 20 bad habits. So here would be bad habits, number would be 20, and you can add like 5 ring parts and 2 levels. For example, if we start the challenge, as you can see, it's 0%. But if we went to the habits war here and we went to mic bad habits, and let's say that we have some bad habits here, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and let's change the date, let's make all of them in the past. Let's duplicate those again to make it 20. I guess it's 20 now. So now if we went to the challenges, as you can see, it's 100%. Just make sure in the progress, instead of slipped is true, it should be false. So yeah, that's our challenges page. Now let's move on to the power rings. So now let's create our power rings. So let's add our page, power rings. Let's add the logo. And I'm not going to add full width. So table view, power rings, OGM1. And yeah, no, my fault. Let's hide the title and let's create our template. So new ring, we give it an icon, and it's add file and media. So we'll add covers. So the cover, we need an order property number. So order, we will use this in order to pull in the player the current ring we've earned. We can use an advanced formula that will do that without an order property, but to keep formulas simple for you, we are going to use this order property. So order, then ring parts require. Okay, so this one also should be number. And then we need another number property called, so we'll add difficulty. So this one we will need it when we are going to add in the configuration, choosing the difficulty mode of the game. So for example, when we are going to click on medium mode, the ring parts required for each ring will multiplied by 2, for example. So difficulty, for example, by default is 1, so we can make it 1. And let's now add relation to player, of course. So player, let's not add the person property. It just, just keep it like that, or you can add it if you want, but it doesn't matter seriously here. So let's add the player. So this one for Mike, or me, sorry again. And then we will create a check formula. So unlock. So this one will check if the player rings part are more than the required here in the ring. So if player dot ring, or we need to create this, I guess, in the player because we didn't create it yet. So let's go to the player and let me see. So rings, here is it. So this is should be okay. I guess this one should be number property, and let's call it name ring part. Okay. Or if I'm not wrong, no, it should. This one is a formula. So this is the formula of ring part from the challenges we earned. So we're going to use that one. So let me set this as a default. So map player current dot ring parts bigger or equal required ring. So let me just make sure this one is some. So it will show me its type of array, of course, because we still didn't fill this one yet. So let me just add like, so map challenges dot dot filter current challenge done equal true, then current dot ring parts dot sum. Okay, and now it should work. Yeah, next let's create another formula. So this is the base rings part or ring parts, and this is basically just the difficulty multiplied by the required ring part. Okay, so I'm going to add 11 here, and now let's add our progress formula. So formula progress. So here's the formula. As you can see, we have 91% because we already have 10 rings in my character. So this is the formula. You just get the data, the player ring parts, the total parts that we collected from completed challenges. And here we have the base ring parts, which is difficulty multiplied by rings required, and the theme color. Then we calculate the percentage here. We build the progress bar style here. I've explained this one before. And then we check if it's unlocked or not. If it's unlocked, it's going to show us it's unlocked. If not, it will show us the progress and how many ring parts are left. So yeah, this is our ring. As always, you can style this. So we can go to the ring here. We can just add the progress and also maybe the order. So you can, and maybe you can also see the difficulty. Then you can move the other properties to the panel. Okay, so let's save this one. Let me just make sure to remove ring parts here. Okay, and the difficulty is 1. Okay, so now what we can do is, let's set this one as default. We can create the first ring, and let's go and create gallery view. We can select the cover and fit image, and let's show the progress. And that's it. Let's just show the progress. So let's set some rings here. So ring 1, ring 2 with order 2. So this one should be 1, and we can sort them. So by order. So order, it should be descending, I guess. Sorry, ascending. Ring 3, order 3, and let's just add ring 4. Of course, in the main template, there's 10 rings, and we also have some covers. So let me upload those covers here. So as you can see, I've uploaded the covers, and all of those are AI generated. So here you can set this one for Osama, add the filter, of course. So the player, and add Osama, and then you can duplicate the view, also duplicate the rings to avoid adding them again. And instead, this time you are going to add Mike. So let's add Mike, and the progress color will also change. You can also then change the icons. So we created the power rings. Now let's move on to our daily status. But even before that, now we should go to the players and add all the formulas needed. So let's start. Let's go to here, edit, and now the real work will start. So let me open this as a full page, and there's a lot of things need to be customized first. So first of all, we need to hide all the relations we have. So add to layout. So let me do that so quickly. And this is the final relation. So all of them are here. We also need to make them minimal. And now let's start the real work. So let me apply this. We will go back to customizing the layouts again because we need to move some formulas that, of course, we will not need. Maybe we can do it right now. So the level formula, we need to add it to layout, the XP, the coins, the points not, the discipline tracker formula, yes, hero of the month now, ring part, yes, base level, yes, and finally the cover. So let me move those to the panel and let me add the cover as the first one. So let's apply it to all pages. And that's it. Now let's go to our player and let's start with Osama. So I'm going to show my view here. And first we are going to start with calculating our character XP. So I already have the formula. So the formula is actually quite simple. It just calculates all the good habits that are completed and returns the XP number. Same for bad habits, but here we will subtract bad habits XP if we did them. Quests, objectives, reflection, notes, if they are reviewed, I want the XP. So this is the formula. It's quite simple. And the same for coins. Instead of XP, we have coins, but what we are going to do, so we also need to add another variable. So it's rewards coins. So here variables, you can change the name later. So rewards dot filter. So actually we don't need to filter. So we can just add dot map current dot total spent and sum them. That's it. And we can now subtract the reward coins. Here is it. So for example, if you went to the reward here and we bought this one and it cost 300, as you can see now, the number reduced to 175. So now let's go to the discipline tracker. So let's add our variables. But first, let me explain the discipline tracker. So when you do a bad habit, that's against your progress. If you avoid doing a good habits, that's also against your progress. So for example, if your progress today was 100% and you didn't do today good habits, after tomorrow it will be 90%, for example. When you do good habits, your progress level up. When you do bad habits, it reduce down. If you avoid doing bad habits, that's good. Let's first call all all good habits. So it just gh dot length, then good done, which is all good dot, which is gh again, filter current dot complete equal true dot length. Now let's go to bad habits. Let's call first all bad habits. It says bh dot length and then bad slipped, which is the bad habits we did. So bh dot filter current dot slipped equal true dot length, and then count the bad. So bad all bad habits minus bad slipped. Now let's calculate our discipline. So new variable, let's call this total habits. So this one is all good habits variable plus all bad habits. Then let's say wins, which is all the good one plus count the bad. or this one we should name it actually the avoid. That's much better, the avoid. We just need to return decimal. So if total habits equal 0, return 0. Otherwise, counts wins by total habits. That's it. Let's just make this decimal only one. That's it. We already have the ring parts formula here. And here we have the base level. So the base level is how many XP I need to collect to go one level up. So you will ask me why we didn't add this one to the formula directly. Well, because when we will add the configuration, for example, in easy mode, the base level would be 500. So it's easy for you to go one level up. But in the hard mode, it will be 1500, for example. So for now, we just make it 1000. Okay, so that's the base level. Now let's go to the level formula because it's actually empty, still empty. So let's add our level formula, and it's quite simple to do. So let's again, so first base XP, which is our XP, and then level, or let's call it base level, which is our base level actually. And now let's calculate. So base XP by base level, and that's it. So for now, we only have 0. If the base level, for example, was 300, as you can see, the level formula is 1. If it was only 100, as you can see, the level formula is 3. So let's keep it 500 for now. And now let's go and create the level formula. So I'm just going to paste it anyway. So here's the formula. It gets our data here, calculates the progress. I've explained this one before, and it displays the progress in this way. Then we have the points. So here's our formula. As you can see, it gets the XP, the coins, and the color theme. Then style our XP and coins. We did that hundreds of times, and finally display it. And then let's also do static formula for the discipline. I'm just going to paste it. As you can see, it's pretty much simple. It takes our discipline tracker and get the percentage from it, and then we have a simple message here. If it's 0, it will show you start your habits. If it's more less than 15, keeps improving. If it's more than 15, less than 19, great discipline. Otherwise, if it's 100% or more than 19, it's legendary focus. And then now we're going to skip the hero of the month because we still didn't create this page yet. But let's go to the rings here. So it's just going to show us the current ring the character or the player earned. So let's create our formula. Let's start with getting all ranks or all rings. So rings, and now we need the unlocked ring. So unlocked ring. So it's all rings dot filter current dot it should be unlocked equal true, and that's it. And now we need to find the highest ring in order. So highest ring, but only in the unlocked one. So locked ring sort dot order, then dot reverse the first one. And now let's just display them. So if empty highest rank or highest ring, no ring yet. Otherwise, style highest ring, side C, purple. Sorry, here it should be color theme. So as you can see here, it's showing the ring as a relation. We don't want that. We want it as name. So dot name. And here is it. So here's our ring formula. Now let's go and create the hero of the month. So now let's move on to the hero page. So in fact, I've recorded the hero page and the mission tracker twice. Both of them, I wasn't recording the audio. That was so stupid for me. And yeah, I spent 3 hours and yeah, didn't record anything. Anyways, not a big issue. So I'm going to do that quite fast. So here of month, table view, stuff that we explained before. Let's not explain them again. OGM1, and let's add the title. Let's add new template, new month, and later I will show you how we can change this using an automation to the actual month name. So let's add, first of all, date. So start date automatically should be today, and formula, which will be end date. So our formula will be let st, which is start date, if empty st it's a nothing, otherwise from a date, otherwise date subtract date add. Okay, nah, date add. Okay, Notion subtract and then date add. Let's add st here. One months. I guess there's a problem here. I guess there's one days. Okay. Next is another formula, which is progress. Or before that, let's add a relation to our players. So hero of the month, add a relation, and let's add all player we have. And now let's add the progress. So let me paste the formula and I will explain how it works. So first of all, we get the dates variables. So start dates, end date, today dates, and month ended, which is today date, okay? Or it checks if today date is bigger than the end date of the month, okay? Then we have players formula or relation and players with XP. So here we will calculate the XP of our players, and we have total XP with just some quest XP, with good XP, which is good habits, journal, and subtract bad habits. So as you can see here, for example, reflection, it will filter only and check the log one, but only in the timeline of our start and end dates of the month. As you can see, same for quests and good habits. Then the step number 3 is find the max XP. So this formula here, what it's going to do is the same thing here. I don't know why I didn't add this one as a variable. So it's same thing here, but then it will add the max function. So all xp.max function to get us the highest number of XP. And then we will do the same thing, but finding the winner. So instead of finding the max number earned by players, now we will find the player that has this max XP. So the same thing here. And finally, we build our message. Then we need another formula, which is winner. So this formula, we will need it in the player profile. So it will help us count how many times this player won Hero of the Month. And by the way, it's just a part of this progress formula. So it's just the calculating all players max XP, then finding the winner. So here's our formula. As you can see, it's the same thing. Getting dates, calculating all players max XP, then finding the winner. Last formula is called last month. Now, so I'm adding this formula because we are going to add a view called last month. So we want to see the last month here. I already have formula. I'm just going to paste it. Let's not waste time with it. We have start date, today date, we get the month and the year, and we just subtract 1 month, okay? So that's all what it does. And if this month is the last month, it will be checked. So now let's build our view here. And let me show the progress. And let's make this one as a default and make sure to repeat this one every single month and at the start of the month. Okay, so new page. And as you can see, currently I have 20 XP, so I'm currently the hero of the month. Now, if we create Or before that, let's add the automation I told you I'm going to add. So month name. And by the way, you need a paid plan to add automation. So let's edit property name. So whenever any property edited, which means you edit any property in the page, we were going to change the name of the month. So if not empty trigger page dot start date, then trigger page, then format trigger page, okay, trigger page dot start date, and we want to get the first 3 letters of the month and the full year. Otherwise, it's empty. So it's done, enable. So if we went to new month here and add some space here or anything, it should change the month name. Okay, let's add another space. As you can see, it's February 2026. So let's add last month. And as you can see, we already have the winner, which is me. And if we went now to Sama and let's add, so I already, just like I said before, I've recorded this twice and I forget to remove this formula. So let's add the hero of the month formula in the player, how many times you won the hero of the month. So let's first get player name. So name. Then hero of the month. So hero of the month, all of them. Then we need the wins only. So hero dot filter current dot winner. So when the winner output match our player name, and we want to count the length. So how many times? Then let's add if condition. So if wins equals 0, never win something, no win yet. Otherwise, format wins plus, let's add win. Okay, and let's add another plural condition, which is if win equal 1, return nothing. Otherwise, add an S to the wins. Okay, and let's add a trophy here. Set a space here, and that's it. So here's the hero of the month. So as you can see, Usama has won. So now we finished hero of the month. I even forget to add an icon. So let's add trophy. And now let's move to the mission tracker. Okay, so let's create our mission tracker for the 3rd time. So yeah, here's the mission tracker. Let's add, I don't know, let's add a robot. I think it sounds good. So let's create our table view here. I'm going to name it empty OGM1. Weird name. Don't ask me how I get it. Now new template, and let's add today. So whenever it's created, it will show us the time. Let's add the date. Okay, it should be today, and relation to our player. Empty. So this one will be for me. We can also add the person property. Why not? So let's add it. And then let's add our first formulas. So first formula is tasks. So how many tasks you completed today? Simple formulas. The other one is habits, and I mean good and bad habits. And the final one is the XP progress, or just the progress, which is based on the total XP you need to reach today from. So it will calculate the tasks or the quests you have today, the good habits and reflection. And also if you did bad habits, it will subtract that. So I'm just going to paste those formulas right away, because if you get to this part now, you actually Notion formula master. So as you can see, first of all, we get today date, that's it. Get the player, And yeah, we get the quests from the player, and then we get the completed one, as you can see. So here we have all quests, and we filter it to show the quest that's their due date is equal to our daily date, which is today, or the date here. And finally, we just count the length of them, so all quests and completed quest length, and we just show them in our display here. So here's our formula. Also, it counts habits of today, and then calculate the completed one, and give us the length, which is good total, and then bad habits and bad total, and bad avoided, which is bad total minus bad slipped. And this is the formula. Yeah, here's our progress formula. Same thing here. um our first step is get today date. Second step, calculate the targeted XP. One thing, if you noticed, I always leave comments here, just to guide you if you want to check the formulas if something wrong happened. So anyways, we have our player quests XP, so on, so the total one, and same thing for good habit and reflection. Target XP, which is a variable that's some the quest targeted XP, good habits targeted XP, and journal. And then step 3, we calculate the earned XP. So quest earned XP, our variable, will give us the all XP for good habits, also bad habits, but in the earned XP we will subtract them. Then we calculate our percentage and our famous progress bar. We explained it before many times how we create them. And yeah, that's it. We're going to use the color theme, because if we change this one to Mike, it will show us the, the progress bar in blue. So let's now just modify our view here, and let's show some properties. Let's show tasks, habits, and progress. Let's create today. So this one for me. Let's duplicate another one. This one for Mike. So as you can see, the color has changed to blue. Now just make sure to repeat those every single day of the week. Also, one thing you can do is, if you want to separate them and see more details, you can create, for example, first player Osama. And what you're going to do is add a filter to filter with date to only show today, and only show, as you know, Osama. And then you duplicate the view and filter by this week. So you name this one today and the other one this week, this month, etc. And you do the same thing for other players. Let me just remove this filter for now. Okay. And we, yeah, finished all the pages inside this Notion template. By the way, I added difficulty modes buttons, just like I said before. I did this 3 times, like now the 3rd time, or twice, I guess. So let me show you again. Let's delete one of those buttons, and let me create one again. So yeah, let's add button, and let's call this one hard mode, and let's add fire. Okay, so we are going to edit the base level in our player. We will increase it, so we will make it hard, 1500. That means you need 1500 to go 1 level up, right? And then edit page. Now let's go to power rings, and difficulty. Now we will add 3. So we multiply the ring parts by 3. So if a ring part in the easy mode, or a ring in the easy mode require 10 parts, now in the difficulty mode will require 13, because we are going to multiply it by 3. And finally, we can add a confirmation message. First, make sure to add it as first one. So right now, if we went to players, I guess the base level is 1500. We are on easy mode. Yes, it's 500. We are on easy mode. Now, if we went to configuration, also if we went to rings, as you can see, ring number 2 require 20 parts. Now, if we went to the configuration and add hard mode, are you sure you want to continue? Yes. And went to players. The level now is 1500, and rings require more parts. Yeah, 16 now. Now let's start styling templates. First of all, let me add callout view here, and let's add the navbar. So player, let's add quest here. I hope I'm recording right now. Yeah, I'm recording. So if I'm not recording, that's what blew my mind. And by the way, I'm going to leave all the covers we are going to use right now in Drive so you can download them. So let's add cover of this template. So here's our cover. Until it loads, let's add players, dashboards. Okay, let's add another callout. Go back to it later. Let me reposition this one. Of course, those are my generated covers. So yeah, you have a free copyright to use them, okay? So then let's add here today's mission. Okay, not bad. And let's just go to the mission tracker and copy this view here. Add it here. And let's name it today. And also let's make sure to add date filter, so to show only today. Okay, let's add this. And let's add one of mic. Okay, let me change this icon to blue, also in the default. Okay, you get the point. Let's just avoid that. Okay, next. So next, let's add our players. Let's add. Now next, let's add a column, players. Okay, and here we're going to add current hero of the month. So let me go to hero. I'll copy this one. Let's show inside the title. And let's add a filter. So start date should be this month. Okay. And I'm going to copy this one and add last hero. Okay. Paste this one and edit the filter. Okay. So the filter now will be if the last month is checked. Okay. And let's hide the title. Here, let's add our players. So let's go to the player page, copy them, and paste them here. And now let's create our discipline tracker chart. So discipline chart. And by the way, you need Notion Plus Plan to do that. Okay. So, but you can create free charts using third-party app. So I'm just going to use the native charts here. So let's go to chart, edit chart. Let's do circle one. And let's show on the x-axis. Okay. So let's show on the x-axis the name. Okay. So this is so let's show on the x-axis the name. So name, and here we will show discipline tracker values. Change color to our purple, and let's do a circle. That's much better. So as you can see here, Mike has 100% of the discipline tracker, and I have 91%. And yeah, we finished now the main dashboard. Now I'm not going to go and create every player dashboard. It takes time. So let me show you how to do that. So here we are in the original template. This is the one you can duplicate. It's free in the description below. So if we went to my dashboard here, as you can see, we have the cover. I will leave it in the description also. So we have 3 columns. So player, explore, and today's mission. So today's mission here filtered to show us only Mike and today. Current hero of the month should show us all of them. And here we have new. It's not those pages, okay? So it's not those pages because let me go to Lucy for example. Those are new pages, but databases here, for example, quests is filtered to show, for example, in today view, Lucy. All right. So those views, you have to create them manually. Don't worry. I've created in the configuration player creator prompt. So what this one does is it takes one player dashboard and try to replicate it to your new player. So you go to the AI agent, you tell him use player creator, new player, or you add player name, Sama for example, theme color, orange, and you also wrote him email, okay, or Notion email, and he will try to, he messed up in many things. For example, he would create the pages, but he will add only one view. For example, in Quest, he will add just the table view, the normal one. And yeah, so you have to do some tweaks by your hand. So now let's start with creating our player's dashboard. So let's first create Usama dashboard, okay? And yeah, after that, we can just duplicate this one and create the other player. Or to make the video shorter, let's just, just create one dashboard. So full width, and I'm just going to name it Usama. I'm going to add sword icon, and I will upload my cover. Then I will create 3 columns. First one will be the player. And here we will add explore. And here we'll add today mission. And here below it, we'll add current hero. So let's embed our, so let's go to the player. So let's go to the player and let's copy the link. And I want to filter it. In fact, we can just keep it like that, like without filtering it. Now, while I was turning the camera off and I was testing the template, I forget that I did a mistake and I didn't notice it until now. So previously, what we've done in each page here, for example, if we went to the habits war and we opened database of good habits and we went to share, as you can see, we invite both players. But that's wrong, because if you invite both players to the same page, even when adding page level access and the rule of only can edit and only can see the page that's related to you, when we share, you also see other players' page. So what we're going to do right now is go to every single page, pretty much not every single page, the point settings and the hero of the month, we should invite players, but they just can view. Like, so let me remove both here from the good habits, and let's go also to the bad habits and remove both players. We should do the same thing in reflection, I guess. Yeah. And then let's go to, I did remove them from quests, I guess. Yeah, I did remove them from quests. Objectives and missions, same thing here. Let's remove them and only keep the permission level. Yeah, let's go to missions. And then notes as well. and then rewards and also challenges. So remove, remove. Next is challenges. No, we didn't invite them in challenges. So let's add new rule. Person can edit, so anyone can start his challenge. Okay, let's make this one related to somehow. Okay, it's already related. Power ranks, same thing. Yeah, I didn't. So for power ranks, also let's add the person property. We are in the share. Let's add new rule. Person and can only view. You can't edit. So create the rule. Now let's go back to. Let me check if I'm recording because I'm now scary. So hero of the month. I should probably, yeah, I'm inviting both players so they can both view. It doesn't matter to add a rule or not. So mission tracker. For the mission tracker, yeah, we should add a rule. So let me remove both first. And we already add the rule, yeah, can view. So they can only view. For the configuration here, point settings, share, and yeah, they can view, okay? Because if we didn't share the point settings, some formulas will not work. Most of formulas that rely on the point settings will not work actually. So now let's go back to the player dashboard. And to test if we are going to see only this player page, what we are going to do is share this page with Usama. So, and we're going to give him full access to it. So invite. And now let me log in to this account. So I'm right now inside this account. And as you can see, here's the player. I only can see my own player. And here, as you can see, we didn't add any filter in the original template. And the player can't go anywhere beside that. So I can't go like to the main dashboard. I'm only invited to this one only. But I also, as you can see in the side, I can access the hero and the points settings, but I can't change any points here. Okay. And I don't have access, as you can see here, quest. So this quest is probably is related to Mike. It's sure related to Mike. So that's why I can't see it. So that's why the level permission and using the business plan is really useful in this template. Also now we should probably see only the one that's related to Mike, to me. Yeah, right now I'm only seeing my today mission. That's good. Okay, next. So let's go to the current hero this month. And it doesn't matter if I can see other players, but it's actually motivating to see other players XP. So I can know how far they went this month. So I can come back if I'm still behind. I can come back and do more tasks, more stuff to win the hero of the month. Okay, and next, now let me show you in the original templates first what we have in the explore page. So actually in the explore page, what we're going to do is create same pages here. So the same quest, reflection, habits, war, objective, notes, reward, challenges, etc. But filtered to only show me the one that are related to my my quest, my actions. So for example, here I'm going to copy this one. Let me create a callout here. So I'm not going through every page. Let me explain the first two, how you can do them, because it's so simple. Just views and some buttons there and filter. That's it. Let me create a column here first. So the first page, big quests. And let's add an icon here. And let me add full width. And I don't have to add filter, like seriously, I don't have to add this filter. So what I'm going to add is only view filter. So I want this view to be today. Okay, and let's add a list. And let's show the duration, the energy. Let's show the status and the points. So let's add status here first, duration at the end, and energy. Let's add energy here. Okay, let me hide the title. So if I add some quests here, and let me add one of them is related to actually Mike. instead. So if we open this one, let's add mic, and let's remove this one to other account. Okay. And now if we went to the quests here, as you can see, I can't see mic task. Okay. And here, if we like there's a mission related to mic, I also not going to be able to see it. Okay. So that's actually the level permission is a really, really good feature. So in fact, what we can do, guys, is, but now it depends on you. Okay. So we can actually um, create those views like today, this week, all here. Okay. Without adding two players here. So just one player. But that's if you are going to use the business plan, because you can just embed this page to the dashboard, to the player dashboard here, and he will only be able to see his own stuff. But now the only downside of this feature is you can't add your own pages. So that's the only issue. If you're going to add the rule, you're not going to add the pages. So like you have to ask someone to add them for you, like someone who has control over this dashboard. So now it's up to you. If you want to use the permission rule or permission level, you will not you will be able to like switch status, etc., do your stuff, but you can't create your own pages. Okay. Otherwise, if you are going to only use filters, then you can do it. Because right now, for example, if you went to the quests and also create a button like say new quest, okay, and let me add a quest here, let me add a new page to the quest database. Okay, let me just remove this one, select a new one here. Okay, here's the button. But if you went to the dashboard, as you can see, I don't have permission to run this button because I don't have permission over the entire database. I can't create page. So there's no solution for that right now. So yeah, it's whether you're going to use filters. So you have to use filter here and, just go to the quests here. Let's remove the permission level. And now if we refresh this one, we don't have access. So first let's give access. So we're going to the quests here page, or let's just go to the database here. And now we need to share it and give full access. And if we give full access to the players, they can see each other tasks and quests, and then you have to just add filter. So you have to add the player to be only Usam. But even though the player can go to the filter and remove it. So whatever does make sense for you, just do it. Personally, if I'm going to play with my friends and I trust my friends, I'm just going to use the free plan and just add filters. Okay, so just like that, we created quests, and it's the same thing for other pages. I'm not going through all of them. Just go here, copy the page you want, for example, in a reflection, copy the link, add a new page here, okay, call this reflection, paste the link, okay, and here add today, for example, a reflection, and related to Sama and other stuff, and add date today, and then go and create this week, this month, and this year. So you will find in the original templates all the views you need to create. And also when you create a dashboard, you can duplicate it, okay? Or you can use, so here I created a AI agent prompt. So I call it player creators. And what it does is just duplicate this dashboard and try to add new players. So you can ask him any number of players, but he messed up a lot of times. Like, for example, he can't create buttons. He like no, not this one. He can't create like separate buttons if you're going to add them in any dashboard. He can't create default templates like if this one is Sam and this one is Mike and you want another player called Alex, for example, he can't create new templates for Alex, so you have to do it manually. He will just help you to duplicate this one, change the colors, and just make things quicker for you. That's all what it does. So yeah, and now my advice is here's how you can play this game. Keep the dashboard here for someone, like give it to one of your friends that's who's not going to play, and then invite each of your friends to his personal dashboard. Now keep in mind, if you're going to use the business plan, then under rule permission, you have to assign them quests like every single day. Habits will be recurring, like objectives. Also, you can set them once, but for quests, notes, adding rewards, challenges, that's when it doesn't work. Okay, so my advice: just use the free version and just filter the views with just filter by players. That's all. Just make sure to go to every database, open the database, go to share, and invite each player. Okay, that's all. Or if you want to invite them all at once to all databases, you can share this main database. Okay, so you can just share the main, but they will have access to to configuration. They may messed up with some stuff. So yeah, I suggest just to invite each player to his own database, filter the view, and trust your friends or family. Okay, so yeah, we finished the template. It took me 3 days to make this video. It's one of my longest one, and I hope you like it. The template in the description below. It's totally free, and I will also leave a video tutorial just to show you how to invite your friend, maybe also how to create your own dashboard or use the player creators AI agents. And that's it. Let me know if there's any. Let me know in the comments if you find any issue with creating the templates. I will try to help. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it to this part, you're really a legend. And yeah, thank you so much.